Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into the pages of A Short History of Nearly Everything by Bill Bryson, a captivating exploration of scientific discovery that spans from the cosmic grandeur of the universe's beginnings to the intricate intricacies of the microscopic entities that compose our world. Crafted with Bryson's trademark wit, this book simplifies complex concepts without losing the wonder and enormity of the scientific journey. Bill Bryson, an American best-selling author known for his wide-ranging musings on the English language, science, and travel, has an exceptional talent for making any subject accessible and enjoyable. His work, Notes from a Small Island, has been embraced by BBC4 radio listeners as the quintessential book representing Great Britain, cementing his reputation as both an informative and entertaining writer. A Short History of Nearly Everything is perfect for adults who are eager to revisit the fundamental principles of science they may have forgotten since their school days. It is an invitation to anyone curious about the beginnings of the universe, the evolution of life on Earth, and the extraordinary advancements of the world's greatest scientific minds. Join us as we condense the essence of this monumental book into a synopsis that both enlightens and amuses, all in the time it takes for a quick coffee break. A Short History of Nearly Everything, a journey into the most intriguing and intractable questions that science seeks to answer. Introduction: Unraveling the Mysteries of Existence, from the Big Bang to you. Have you ever paused and wondered about the enormity of our universe and the origins of life itself? A Short History of Nearly Everything invites you on an awe-inspiring journey that traces the lineage of our existence right from the cosmos to the cells that make up your body. This is the story of space, time, and life as we know it, and everything that had to happen for you to be here today. Imagine standing at the outset of everything, the universe in its nascent stage. We take a dive into the heart of the Big Bang, the cataclysmic event that hurled matter in all directions, sowing the seeds of stars, planets, and every speck of life. It's mind-boggling, isn't it? The echoes of that colossal explosion, believe it or not, still resonate around us. You can hear a faint whisper of its remnants through the static noise on an untuned radio or TV. As we traverse from the Big Bang to the birth of Earth, we explore the miracle of life. It may astonish you to learn that our existence, the very success of human life, hinges upon the earlier dominions of humble bacteria. These tiny architects shaped the atmosphere, enabling the rise of more complex organisms. Our lineage is a testament to their legacy. Delving deeper into the principles of life, you'll be amazed to find just how much you share with the natural world. Looking into the mirror of genetics, the reflection you'll find will display the connections linking you to other living beings. For instance, the genetic variances between you and a banana or a fruit fly are surprisingly slender. Yes, our biological relationship to the rest of the living world is more than skin deep. It's encoded in our DNA. Yet, for all the magnificent breakthroughs and theories conceived by the world's most brilliant minds, we are still unraveling the threads of many mysteries. The boundless depths of our oceans conceal countless undiscovered species. The cosmos teem with dark matter and dark energy, elusive components that make up a vast majority of the universe, and our very planet holds untold secrets beneath its crust. Through this expedition, spanning galaxies, touching on the origins of all life and acknowledging the genius of historical figures, we celebrate the learnings science has bestowed upon humanity while marveling at the vast unknown that awaits our discovery. The thrill of science, after all, lies in the perpetual quest for answers, embracing both the known and the unknowable, and recognizing the wonder within and beyond us. Part 1. Unraveling the Cosmic Clue, a hiss from the dawn of time. Let's rewind to a pivotal moment in 1965, when two radio astronomers, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, stumbled upon a persistent hiss that defied explanation. No matter where they aimed their antenna in the skies of New Jersey, this vexing sound followed. It was an auditory shadow echoing across their equipment, and their exhaustive efforts to eradicate it, from recalibrating instruments to scraping away bird droppings, were met with failure. In a narrative twist, the frustrating noise became a groundbreaking discovery. With a simple telephone call to astrophysicist Robert Dicke, an unintentional puzzle piece fell perfectly into place. This was no ordinary interference. It was the cosmic background radiation, an ancient whisper from the universe's explosive entry into existence. The Big Bang. The Big Bang theory paints a portrait of the universe's dramatic genesis, blooming from an original singularity. Imagine everything that ever was or is, scrunch that into an infinitely dense, dimensionless point in the vast canvas of nothingness, and then, in an unfathomable flash, it expands. This expansion is not simply mind-boggling, it's nearly impossible to visualize. The universe, in its first breath, doubled its size again and again within fractions of a second, so minuscule they're hard to express. The numbers themselves flirt with the edge of comprehension. In the brief time it might take you to assemble a quick meal, the universe had ballooned from an inconceivable pinpoint to an expanse over 100 billion light-years wide, fervently giving birth to nearly all the matter and the fundamental forces we've come to know. Cycling back to Penzias and Wilson's enigmatic hiss, we find ourselves eavesdropping on the aftermath of creation. The intense bursts of energy from the universe's nascence simmered down into microwaves, and there, in the hum of a radio antenna and the static of an untuned television, they left a subtle yet monumental signature. To think that the simplest television provides a gateway, that approximately 1% of that fuzzy gray static is a direct connection to the universe's earliest heartbeat, prompts a profound sense of connection with the origins of everything. Indeed, it's a cosmic clue, a reminder of where we all began, resonating through time and leading us on a journey back to the beginning. Through such serendipitous whispers, we peer into the vast storeroom of our cosmic past, listening intently for the secrets it holds. Part 2. Among the Stars, the Case for Cosmic Company. Pause for a moment and entertain this thought. In all the infinite sprawl of the universe, could it really be that Earth is the lone harbinger of life? As we examine the sheer scale of the cosmos, with its unfathomable mileage since the moment of the Big Bang, our planet becomes a microscopic oasis in a desert of darkness. The known universe extends for more than 1 million miles, a number so staggering it defies true comprehension. Within this colossal expanse, approximately 140 billion galaxies swirl in space, each a tapestry of stars and potential worlds. To envision this multitude, picture a symphony of frozen peas enough to fill an auditorium. Each pea a galaxy, each galaxy a home to hundreds of billions of stars, including our own sun in the Milky Way. The key message to absorb here is this: the universe's enormity suggests that other beings likely exist. We just haven't discovered them yet. As we stand under the night sky, we are gazing into an ocean of potential. The probability of life, when factored against the backdrop of innumerable stars, suggests that we may not be an anomaly, but a single note in a grand cosmic choir. Frank Drake's 1961 foray into this enigma birthed an equation which offered a method to estimate the number of advanced civilizations within the Milky Way. Dividing the number of stars, considering those with planetary systems and conducive for life, and further narrowing down to where intelligent life might emerge, Drake's conclusion was bold. Our galaxy could boast millions of advanced civilizations. Such a notion tilts our perspective, providing the tantalizing possibility of interstellar kin. Yet, there's a catch. Allow this to sink in. The space separating these imagined neighbors is vast, averaging at least 200 light-years. Even light, in its unchallenged swiftness, takes 5.8 trillion miles to complete just one of those years. Thus, while the probability of other life forms seems more than a wisp of speculation, their profound distance renders the thought of encountering them, at least with our current capabilities, little more than a science fiction dream. We peer into the night sky, pondering our place within this grand scheme, and while the silent stars still guard their secrets, we remain hopeful, yearning to bridge the light years, and, perhaps someday, to say hello to our cosmic neighbors. Part 3. Newton's Quest, Deciphering the Movements of Heaven and Earth. In the annals of scientific history, one figure stands out for his relentless quest to demystify the motions of the cosmos and our home planet, Isaac Newton. This is a man who would dare the unimaginable, probing into the mysteries of human vision by pressing a needle to his own eye, and challenging ocular endurance by gazing unwaveringly into the sun's glare. Eccentric, brilliant, and profoundly influential, Newton's mind was a crucible for breakthrough scientific thought. Here's the crux of Newton's scientific odyssey. He sought to unravel the intricate dance of celestial and earthly bodies, to map the unseen choreography that guides stars and stones alike. Many hail his tome Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, often referred to simply as Principia, as a cornerstone of modern science. Yet, this was no breezy literature for the idle afternoon. Newton crafted it with such complexity that only those with a serious intent for inquiry could hope to scale its knowledge. This book, intentionally inaccessible to the hobbyist, is revered by scholars for its foundational insights into the laws of motion and universal gravitation. Newton introduced the revolutionary notion that objects, irrespective of size or distance, exert an invisible force on one another, drawing themselves closer in a cosmic embrace. This force, known as gravity, is proportionate to mass. Thus, the majestic stars command celestial bodies to waltz in orbits around them, while your humble desk light exerts but a minuscule tug, too faint to set your stationary satellites adrift. His insights penetrated further than the vault of the stars, grounding us in a better understanding of Earth. Principia's underpinnings allowed for astonishing calculations, like the heft of our planet, a jaw-dropping 5.9725 billion trillion metric tons. But perhaps more intriguing was the revelation of Earth's true form. Newton postulated that the planet's spin should coerce it into a slightly squashed sphere, with a bulge along the equator and a tuck at the poles, a shape we now describe as an oblate spheroid. Although Newton charted the trajectory and form of our world, he left unsolved the riddle of its age. A mystery hanging in space, the question of Earth's birthdays remained unanswered. It would take another chapter in science's unfolding story to unearth the tale of our planet's long genesis. Part 4. From Scripture to Science, the Earth's history etched in stone and isotopes. Delve into the 17th century, where an Irish archbishop, James Ussher, embarked on a quest to pinpoint Earth's genesis. By intertwining biblical chronicles with historical texts, he proclaimed a birth date for our planet, noon on October 23, 4004 BCE. That precise date notwithstanding, the scientific community remained skeptical, intuiting that Earth's journey began far earlier. Nevertheless, the absence of a clock that could measure geological eons left the exact duration of Earth's existence a matter of conjecture. The revelation rests in this. While rocks and fossils hinted at an ancient Earth, the phenomenon of radioactivity unfurled the scroll of its extensive memoirs. 19th-century geologists scrutinized rock layers, understanding that each stratum was a page in Earth's geological diary. The older narratives lay at the bottom, while the fresher tales sat atop them. It was clear. Earth's history was not counted in centuries, but etched across eons. Still, the true length of these vast epochs eluded them. It took the discovery of radioactivity at the close of the 19th century by Marie and Pierre Curie to illuminate the path to this ancient truth. Radioactivity, the silent and steadfast release of energy from certain rocks, piqued the curiosity of physicist Ernest Rutherford. Through his exploration, Rutherford unveiled that radioactive elements gradually transform into other elements at a fixed pace, measured by their half-life, the consistent period it takes for half the material to transmute. With this knowledge, rocks could now serve as timekeepers. By examining the proportion of uranium-235 and lead-207 within them, we could backtrack to their origins, unlocking the story of Earth's primordial days. The riddle of Earth's age remained unsolved until 1956, when Claire Cameron Patterson converged all these clues using the silent testimony of ancient meteorites. With meticulous investigation, Patterson calculated that our planet originated roughly 4.55 billion years ago, give or take 70 million years. This stunning conclusion dwarfed Usher's calculations, offering a temporal vista that spans nearly the entirety of conceivable time. Science had thus, with the help of Earth's own natural chronometers, traced its lineage back to a realm of time almost beyond our grasp, piecing together the stories told by rocks and isotopes and bringing the ancient past to light. Part 5. When the Clock Ticks Differently. Einstein's Revolutionary Idea. Albert Einstein, the luminary who redefined our understanding of the universe, didn't start out as the epitome of academic achievement. Flunking college entrance exams and failing to secure a job. As a high school science teacher, Einstein's early career shimmered with anything but promise. However, in a twist of fate, while toiling away at the Swiss Patent Office in 1905, Einstein would pen papers that were destined to turn the scientific landscape on its head. The central revelation from that annus mirabilis was this: Einstein's special theory of relativity asserts that time itself is a flexible concept. It is, fundamentally, relative. At first blush, the idea may appear confounding, given the steadfast progression of time we experience daily. Our lives seem to be measured in immutable units of seconds, minutes, and hours. And yet, Einstein unveiled that time's flow is inextricably linked to motion and perspective. Picture yourself on a train platform, borrowing a thought experiment from philosopher Bertrand Russell. A train hurtles toward you at speeds flirting with light itself. From your vantage point, this train appears oddly stretched. The passengers' conversations are atonal and sluggish, reminiscent of a record player on the wrong setting. Glancing at a timepiece within the train, it appears to lazily tick away, each second dilating. Meanwhile, aboard this near-luminal locomotive, all seems ordinary to its passengers. Their chats and gestures mirror the routines of everyday life, and from their perspective, the clocks on board keep the time as faithfully as ever. Shift their gaze to the platform, and it is you who appears to be shrouded in sluggishness, your movements a slow-motion spectacle. The special theory of relativity shines a light on this curious fact. Time's pace is not universal. Instead, it is shaped by the dance of velocities and the eye of the beholder. It runs at varying rhythms, depending upon one's speed and position in relation to others. Einstein's intellectual odyssey, however, didn't culminate with this astonishing insight. As we delve deeper into his corpus of work, we encounter yet another groundbreaking notion that would further revolutionize our grasp of the cosmos. Part 6. Spacetime and Sagging Sheets. Einstein rethinks gravity. Contained within you lies an explosive force rivaling the fury of dozens of hydrogen bombs. Such is the potential energy dormant in the atoms and molecules of your being. Yet, this is a universe-wide truth. Every mass around you, each grain of sand, every celestial body, conceals an immense reserve of energy. Albert Einstein brought this mind-expanding link between mass and energy into sharp focus with the equation EMC2. This pinnacle of scientific beauty translates to energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. It's a deceptively simple statement, that heralds an epical truth. Mass is essentially condensed energy, biding its time to unfurl. The groundbreaking revelations didn't halt there. In yet another leap of intellectual valor, Einstein's general theory of relativity recast the very fabric of our understanding of gravity. The core idea of this 1917 publication is Einstein's general theory of relativity revolutionized our perception of gravity, depicting it as a curvature within the very continuum of space and time. Einstein envisioned a universe woven from a four-dimensional tapestry, spacetime, interlacing the familiar three dimensions with the fourth, time. But what is spacetime? A useful metaphor likens it to a pliable sheet of rubber, flat but susceptible to warps and dips. This conception of space-time was instrumental in reshaping the notion of gravitational force. Rather than being a simple attraction between masses, gravity emerged as the warping of space-time precipitated by mass. Let's unravel this through an earthly analogy. Imagine a rubber sheet again. Place a heavy bowling ball in its epicenter, and the once taut fabric now sags under its weight, akin to how massive objects like stars mold the surrounding space-time. Now, send a marble gliding across the sheet. The marble's path is initially straightforward, but as it approaches the bowling ball's indentation, it begins to swerve, pulled into a spiral around the ball's depression. This embodies planetary orbits. From the marble's view, it's striding a direct course, but in reality, it's curving along the contours created by the bowling ball, illustrating how gravity guides the cosmic dance of celestial bodies. With his general theory of relativity, Einstein unfurled a new curtain on the theater of the universe, unveiling gravity not as a force, but as a choreographer of space-time's ballet, directing the orbits and arcs of the cosmos through its silent commands. Part 7, The Riddle of the Subatomic. Heisenberg tackles the uncertainty principle. While Einstein's theories have taken us on an extraordinary voyage to decode the wonders of time and gravity, the tapestry of the cosmos is also woven with threads of the incredibly small. Atoms, molecules, and subatomic particles. Do the grand laws applied to planets and pulsars hold when we venture into this microscopic realm? The answer lies in the slippery landscape of quantum mechanics. Herein lies a key revelation. Werner Heisenberg's uncertainty principle is the bedrock for comprehending the erratic ballet of particles. Delve into the atomic nucleus, where protons and neutrons congregate, and you find electrons whirling around this central cluster. Yet early explorations into atomic behavior posed a puzzle that conventional physics struggled to piece together. Spinning electrons ought to lose their energy rapidly, like dizzy dancers collapsing in exhaustion. Simultaneously, crammed protons, all with positive charges, should aggressively repel one another. By these predictions, atoms should collapse in disarray, yet they do not. Enter the unique realm of quantum theory, the playbook for the universe's tiniest actors. One pivotal architect of this quantum landscape was Werner Heisenberg, who, in 1926, introduced quantum mechanics and its crowning principle, uncertainty. As scientists measured electrons, they observed a chameleon's performance. Electrons sometimes played the role of particles. Other times, they adopted the fluid form of waves. Faced with this dual identity crisis, physicists were stumped. How could electrons be both? The uncertainty principle offered a pathway through this paradox. Imagine an electron not merely as a point in space, but as a particle whose behavior could also be described as a wave. The principle declares a fundamental limit to our knowledge. We can ascertain an electron's location or predict its trajectory and velocity, but never both simultaneously. It's the cosmic equivalent of a choose-your-own-adventure book. Flip to one page, you find the electron's position, to another its speed, but the entire story, forever out of reach. Quantum theory, as complex as it may be, yields the explanatory keys to this subatomic kingdom. Yet, such keys cannot unlock the secrets of the expansive universe, where gravity and time reign. Conversely, relativity theory, for all its orchestration of the cosmic symphony, falters in the quantum realm. Therein lies the chasm in contemporary science. Two exceptionally successful theories, quantum physics and relativity, each ruling over their respective domains, but a grand unifying theory that elegantly encompasses both. That remains the Holy Grail, an enigma waiting for its own Einstein or Heisenberg to emerge. Part 8. Conditions for Life. Earth's Rare Recipe for Existence. As you open the door to the world outside, take a moment to marvel at the flourishing life around you. The riot of colors and forms in birds, the scurry of insects, the rustle of leaves in the wind. It appears so effortless, the earth teeming with life's abundance. Yet this facade of ease belies a stark truth. Our planet is not as welcoming to life as it seems. The paradox lies in the realization that there are four unique criteria that make life on planet Earth possible. Despite the panoply of life observed, Earth's welcoming zones for human habitation amount to a mere sliver of its expanse. Desert sands, icy polar stretches, and the vast oceans are realms we simply cannot claim as our own. Indeed, we are tenants confined to just 0.5% of Earth's total habitable volume. It's nothing short of miraculous that amidst these constraints, life manages to thrive. Our existence hinges upon a delicate balance, a symphony of factors, all of which needed to align to welcome life. Let's elucidate the quartet of cosmic criteria paramount for Earth's vitality. Firstly, our planet dances at a just right distance from the sun. A planetary step closer, and the scorch of heat would sterilize life. A leap further, and a frigid cloak would smother vitality. Picture this. If Earth's orbit shifted a mere 5% closer to the sun, or 15% further away, the story of life might have been left untold. Secondly, our atmosphere stands as a guardian, warding off punishing cosmic radiation. The molten heart of our world fuels this atmosphere, enveloping us in a protective embrace. Thirdly, the moon's silent vigil, unassumingly crucial, grants Earth's steady rotation. A moonless Earth would pirouette frantically, sending weather and climate into tumultuous disarray. Lastly, timing stakes its claim as a crucial architect of our fate. Each event in the grand timeline of our universe had to occur with precision. Take, for instance, the cosmic collision that gifted us a moon. Had this massive impact occurred after life's dawn, it might well have erased its very beginnings. We reside on a planet where four extraordinary circumstances converge to craft a cradle for life. A world too often taken for granted, Earth is an improbable sanctuary, a space where life not only endures but abounds against remarkable odds. Part 9. The Vast Uncharted. Secrets of our Ocean Depths. Venture beyond the familiar confines of land, and you'll encounter a world of profound mystery, the Earth's oceans. These watery realms, accounting for a gargantuan 1.3 billion cubic kilometers, are our planet's most dominant yet least understood feature. Herein lies a surprising truth. Our knowledge of the life that teems within the oceans is astonishingly sparse. Oceans hold 97% of Earth's water, but for most of history, their depths were enigmatic, their secrets hidden beneath undulating waves. It wasn't until 1872 that humanity's first concerted effort to probe these marine mysteries commenced with the British expedition of the HMS Challenger, a venture that would lay the cornerstone for the science of oceanography. Despite this groundbreaking journey and the ensuing 50-volume opus of findings, the discipline of oceanography languished in the shadows, roused again only in the 1930s by the daring duo Otis Barton and William Beebe. These explorers, not content with surface marvels, sought to plummet into the abyss. With pluck and iron, they fashioned the bathysphere, a diving sphere simple in design yet audacious in intent, a veritable metal bubble tethered to the world by a slender cable. Their expeditions deepened humanity's descent into the marine unknown. The bathysphere carried them down to previously unfathomable depths, 183 meters initially, and eventually to a breathtaking 900 meters below the surface. Yet with neither the men being consummate oceanographers nor the sphere equipped for clarity of vision, their observations remained tantalizing glimpses. They witnessed enigmatic silhouettes and forms in the watery dark, but academicians dismissed these as unsubstantiated curiosities. Fast forward to the contemporary era, where even with technological sophistication that would dwarf the bathysphere, our oceanic cartography pales in comparison to the celestial maps we've drawn of Mars. Our ventures to the most cavernous oceanic trenches remain limited, our grasp tenuous. Some estimates suggest that our exploratory incursions might have only brushed a fraction as minuscule as 1/1,000,000th, perhaps even a billionth, of the ocean's profound depths. Thus, we stand at the edge of a boundless frontier that lies beneath our very feet, a frontier of profound silence and darkness, waiting for the dauntless to illuminate its secrets. Our blue planet's vast aquatic heart yet beats with riddles, echoing with the call of the deep, an invitation to unravel the hidden narratives swirling in the undercurrents of the ocean abyss. Part 10. The Benevolent Legion, Bacteria and Their Pivotal Role on Earth. Each time we lather our hands with soap and rinse under a stream of water, we're enacting a small ritual against an omnipresent companion, bacteria. These microscopic life forms hitchhike on our skin, in our homes, and throughout the world we tread, making them virtually inescapable. The essential role of bacteria is a fundamental yet often overlooked fact. Bacteria are Earth's most abundant life forms, and their existence is inextricably linked with our own. While prompted to wash away these so-called germs, it is striking to consider the vast array of bacteria that are actually indispensable to us. At this very moment, a bustling metropolis of 1 trillion bacteria thrives on your skin, contributing to a healthy microbiome. Globally, the weight of these minute organisms eclipses other life, embodying a staggering 80% of Earth's total biomass. Why are bacteria so prevalent? To begin, their reproductive prowess is unparalleled. Within as little as 10 minutes, a new bacterial generation can emerge. If unimpeded, a lone bacterium could, in theory, give rise to more descendants in 2 days than there are protons in the observable cosmos. But it's not mere numbers that define bacteria. They boast a tenacity and versatility that allow them to persist in the most extreme conditions, whether nesting in the tanks of nuclear reactors or weathering the assault of intense radiation. Before you rush to the sink in trepidation, consider this. Bacteria are remarkable allies. They are nature's recyclers, transforming waste into water and soil nutrients, crafting our food into vital nutrients, and mediating our atmosphere's nitrogen into forms we can assimilate. Indeed, the vast majority of bacteria play a neutral or positive role in our lives, but it is a dubious minority, a mere 1 in 1,000, that earns bacteria their notorious reputation. These pathogenic species have scribed dark chapters in human history, from Black Death to tuberculosis. Thus, while these small organisms benefit our world in myriad ways, this dangerous fraction is why we continue the time-honored tradition of soap and water. In sum, our existence is inextricably bound to these minuscule, mighty entities. Bacteria are architects of life as we know it, unseen shapers of our environment and guardians of our health, even as the rogue elements among them remind us of the delicate balance that encompasses all living things. Part 11. The Big Birth, Tracing the Genesis of Genetic Miracles. Imagine a scene where the everyday ingredients in your kitchen begin whirling into action, combining autonomously into perfect cakes, which, in turn, multiply in a delicious cascade. As improbable as this vision of self-propagating pastries might be, it's not entirely removed from the true tale of life's origins. Here lies the essence of life's genesis. Life bloomed spontaneously as a packet of genetic material found the means to replicate itself. Life's fundamental components, proteins, arise from the union of amino acids. Such self-assembly isn't extraordinary in nature. We see non-living examples in the crystalline beauty of snowflakes and the cosmic jewelry of Saturn's rings. So if the non-living world can spontaneously organize itself, what's to prevent the same from happening with life's organic building blocks? This spontaneity hinges on a select roster of elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. The crucial difference between the organic and the inorganic. Beset with these ingredients and the conducive conditions, the stage was set for life to spark into existence. It wasn't merely the random assembly of molecules that harbored life, but rather the advent of a singular genetic phenomenon, the ability to self-replicate. With organisms first beginning to divide some 4 billion years ago, they achieved the evolutionary milestone biologists hail as the Big Birth. The Big Birth set in motion a succession of life forms, with bacteria reigning supreme for 2 billion years. These tenacious pioneers honed the art of photosynthesis, mastering the alchemy of using water to create oxygen. As eons unfurled, oxygen levels surged, setting the stage for a diversity of complex living beings. This evolutionary march saw life diverge into two great dynasties: the oxygen producers resembling plants, and the oxygen consumers akin to animals and humans. From those nascent breaths, forged by genetic ingenuity, through the epochs where oxygen breathed complexity into life, we have arrived at a world teeming with a spectacular array of beings. Much like the ingredients in our imaginary kitchen, the raw materials of primeval Earth combined and recombined, setting the table for the grand banquet of evolution, one that continues to unfold in all its wonder. Part 12. A Tapestry of Life. The oneness among Earth's many species. As we unravel the intricate web of life that blankets Earth, we stand in awe at the boundless diversity that paints our world. The notion that we share our planet with anywhere from 3 million to possibly 200 million species only scratches the surface of the teeming life that eludes our comprehension. Reports even suggest up to 97% of the planet's flora and fauna remain shrouded in obscurity. Yet there's a profound message woven into Earth's diverse ecological fabric. While the Earth nurtures an incalculable variety of species, at the most fundamental level, all life is interconnected. This unity amidst diversity was poignantly captured in Charles Darwin's seminal 1859 work on the origin of species. Darwin's evolutionary vision illuminated the threads connecting all living beings. His theory of natural selection depicted the branching paths of life, each species refining itself to align with the exigencies of its unique habitat or facing extinction. Follow these myriad evolutionary threads back to their source, and we encounter a shared origin, a common wellspring of life that has blossomed into the rich tapestry of beings that inhabit our planet today. With the advent of DNA research, our genetic kinship with the rest of the living world has been cast into even sharper relief. A comparison of DNA across human beings reveals a staggering 99.9% similarity in our genetic makeup, and this familial resemblance doesn't stop at the threshold of our species. About half of human DNA echoes the sequences found within a humble banana. Fruit flies share 60% of our genes, while mice share 90% at some level. What's even more astonishing is the discovery that parts of our genetic code can be accepted across species lines. Human DNA, when introduced to the cells of fruit flies, meshes seamlessly with their biology, embraced as native code. This shared genetic language hints at an overwhelming truth. All life on Earth is not just a collection of isolated beings, but a singular, interconnected family, far more closely intertwined than we ever anticipated. Each creature, from the simplest mold to the most complex mammal, is an integral part of a vast living organism we call Earth, mirroring the wonders of a miraculous genesis that could, with a twist of fate, come to an abrupt halt. Our journey now turns to ponder the fragility of this grand miracle of existence and whether it could one day cease as swiftly as it began. Part 13. Perilous Cosmos. The constant threats that surround Earth. It's easy to go about our daily lives, blissfully unaware of the cosmic shooting gallery that our solar system represents. Asteroids, those silent celestial stones, hurtle through space, some sweeping perilously close to Earth, unbeknownst to the casual observer. There lies a daunting reality. Earth is perpetually encircled by potential cataclysms both from the solar system and from within its own dynamic crust. Let's contemplate the celestial scope first. Our planet is ringed by at least 1 billion asteroids, with countless more scattered through our galactic neighborhood, tracing their inexorable paths and, at times, intertwining with Earth's journey around the Sun. To add to this cosmic roulette, approximately 100 million sizable asteroids have orbits that intersect with Earth's, and among these, as many as 2,000 possess the mass and velocity to endanger civilization itself. The odds may sound remote, but encounters with civilization-threatening asteroids could be occurring several times a week, far from our gaze. Turning to terrestrial threats, the Earth's own geology stirs with violent potential. Earthquakes serve as stark reminders of our planet's restlessness, bursts of sudden violence at the margins of tectonic plates. Cities like Tokyo are particularly vulnerable, situated precariously at the confluence of 3 colossal plates. Historically, earthquakes have not shied from demonstrating their might. The once flourishing Lisbon met a tragic fate in 1755, laid to waste by a series of formidable quakes and a devastating tsunami, a calamity that claimed 60,000 souls. And then there are the volcanoes, their deceptive tranquility capable of erupting into apocalyptic fury. The 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens in Washington, despite the vigilant eyes of volcanologists, surprised us all with its deadly explosion. Yet, this event pales in comparison to the titan slumbering beneath Yellowstone National Park, a supervolcano with the periodicity of roughly 600,000 years. With its last awakening dated to 630,000 years ago, it harbors a dormant power capable of draping a vast swathe of the continent in ash. We inhabit a world that is a mosaic of beauty and peril, where existence teeters on the brink of cosmic and terrestrial upheavals. Gazing into the vast arch of history, it becomes clear that our presence is nothing short of a serendipitous fortune. Against the backdrop of space's hazards and the Earth's own seismic temperament, life's continuous thread is a testament to resilience in the face of the universe's relentless dangers. Final summary. Our voyage through the universe's history is nothing short of awe-inspiring. With boundless curiosity, humanity has pierced through layers of mystery, reaching ever closer to answering the fundamental questions of our existence. Our understanding of the cosmos and our origins has been meticulously woven from the fabric of observations, theories, and relentless inquiry. From the grand mechanism of planets and galaxies dictated by the principles laid down by Newton and Einstein, to the minute dance of subatomic particles thriving within the realm of quantum mechanics, our scientific pursuits have provided profound insights. We've delved into the birth of stars, the formation of Earth, and the intricate web of life that spooled from its primordial cauldron. Science has served as our compass through the ages, guiding us through theories of relativity that explain the fabric of space-time and quantum theories shedding light on the perplexing behaviors of particles. We've marveled at the diversity of species that render Earth a vibrant tapestry of life, recognizing the common threads of DNA that unite us all, from the simplest organisms to the complexity of human life. Yet with each revelation comes the sobering reminder of Earth's fragility amidst a maelstrom of celestial hazards. from asteroids to supervolcanoes. Our continued existence dangles on a cosmic thread, susceptible to the whims of nature both from the abyss of space and from the very ground we walk on. Despite the monumental strides we've taken in comprehending the mechanisms that drive our universe and our own evolution, it's humbling to consider all that remains obscured in the shadows of our knowledge. The cosmos still holds secrets that beckon to our inherent desire for discovery, whispering the promise of further wonders and truths waiting to be uncovered. Thus, the saga of our quest to understand nearly everything stretches before us, an unending testament to human ingenuity and wonder. The universe's chronicles are far from complete, and the process of scientific exploration, with its incessant revelations, continues to expand the boundaries of our knowledge, challenging us to ever greater depths of understanding in the wondrous journey of life and the vast cosmos we call home. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.